Fluttershy Saves the Day by Str8aura. Behold, our cutie mark vault! Fluttershy heard gasps around her. She wasn't much of a gasper. Fainting was more her speed. Still, she had to admit she was feeling a bit lightheaded at the sight before her. A monolithic wall of blue sheen, like a glowing pane of glass that stretched from floor to ceiling, divided into two-dimensional spell matrix forming boxes to restrain anything within a 2D shape, and restrain it did, for every box held its own cutie mark, the culmination of everything that made a pony, contained in a tiny doodle special talent. Magic, fears, wants, desired, all trapped in a thin sheet of pocket dimension, proudly displayed under the all-imposing equal sign. "I've never seen anything like this," Twilight breathed, and in front of it, sticking straight up from a stone pedestal in the ground, a wooden spear with a curving, twirling base and twin prongs, nearly as long as the handle. "And here is the Staff of Sameness," Starlight began, delicately lifting it in a weak lull of telekinesis to guide it through the air lazily. It was one of the great mage Meadowbrook's 9 enchanted items. We are incredibly fortunate to have it here. Twilight's eyes narrowed contemplatively like that, an expression well known to all her friends. An idea was forming, but just behind her was a much subtler tell. Fluttershy's front hoof began to shift, grinding quietly on the ground like she was trying to bore a hole through the floor. "This is the tool that allows us to free ourselves from our marks!" Starlight swung the staff in an arc ahead of her, gallons of pride laced with a toxic glee spilling from her words. And like a bullet through water, a tiny, near imperceivable sound echoed in the empty cave, all ears swiveling towards the source. "No!" Starlight blinked, her smile unwavering. "Pardon?" The group all took a step back, leaving one in the centre, Fluttershy, quivering with a much more visible fear, her eyes trained on the floor. Still, she remained steadfast, and peeped out a louder, "No! Whatever could you mean? Fluttershy, was it?" Starlight flashed her teeth like a chimp, waiting the answer calmly. "Fluttershy, let's be nice." Twilight seethed through her own smile, a forced one that read less, "Be nice," and more, "Don't play your cards yet." I mean, no," Fluttershy persisted, playing with her hair nervously. "I don't know much about magic or mage Meadowbrook besides a few stories Dad used to tell me, and I don't know what her magical artifacts are, or even that she had any, but that's not one of them." Starlight protectively drew the staff closer to herself, a subtle crack in the facade. "Well, I'd hardly consider you an expert, given what you've told me. Why exactly are you sure of yourself?" "Make or break moment, Fluttershy. Everyone's watching you, with interest, with fear, with curiosity. You've kept this secret so long. Because you trusted these people, and their heirloom is a fake. How could they?" "It's because," Fluttershy sighed, "it's because that's the Spear of Longinus." Silence, then a patient prodding, "Pardon?" from the pony wielding the perpetrator. The cork was loose and the wine was spilling out now. Fluttershy didn't even think. She just closed her eyes and pushed on. "Adam's Spear of Longinus, brought to Earth when he first collided with it, long before the dawn of Pony. Adam's development was stunted when Lilith collided with the same planet and her own spear was destroyed, placing Adam in suspended animation while Lilith proceeded to create life in her image." Starlight was glaring now, though few were focused on her anymore. "What are you?" "Millions of years later, ponies attempted to remove it from Adam, causing the second impact when the Earth's magnetic pole was severely shifted and the Arctic ice caps melted. Half of the planet's population was killed." "Fluttershy, what are you talking about?" Twilight asked baffledly. Fluttershy's eyes screwed shut tighter. The spear was then used in 2015 to kill Ariel, the 15th angel, by impaling it through her, after which it collided with the moon, where it remained until the third impact. I created the Tree of Life. Fluttershy took a deep, gasping breath and squeaked anxiously. It's a nice replica. I didn't know you were a Neon Genesis fan. Starlight sputtered, struggling to close her agape jaws. Neon Genesis? You think this is a replica? Fluttershy fumbled in her hair, trying quickly to recover as she sorted through the brushes, makeup kits, dog treats, art kits, pens, bits and deck of cards she kept in her locks. Look at it! The twisted handle, the long prongs, the point where the handle meets them. It's a wood-carved replica of the spear. Here, right here. In front of everyone, she pulled out a folded slip of paper and threw it onto the ground. It depicted a watercolor painting of a giant, blue, slender figure with bulky hooves standing in a knee-deep ocean amidst a black void, wielding a spear twice as long as its own body. Behind it was a crucified pony with an alien face and a smooth head, entrails hanging from where its hind legs had been removed. I was going to finish it there, but enough of it was painted to get to the point. It's fan art of that very same spear. Fluttershy pointed an accusing hoof, cleaving an invisible path through the crowd that had gathered to peer at it towards Starlight. That's not a magical artifact at all. It's an anime weapon. Enough! Starlight shouted, slamming the base of the spear into the ground. I am not an anime fan. I don't know what a Neon Genesis whatever is. I don't know Adam, Lilith, Ray, whatever. I don't know what you're talking about or who these people are. You want to know why it looks like this? With a resounding heave, she lifted it off the ground with her bare hooves and slammed it into the stone floor, revealing why she was so fragile with it. It shattered instantly, and the crowd gasped yet again. Because it's a damn stick I found in the desert! Starlight caught her breath and looked at the crowd of villagers gathered around her. Oops! She smiled nervously. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed what you heard, please consider joining my Patreon, patreon.com/TMFF, to get early access to audiobooks and to be able to request I do a reading of what you want, provided the author approves. Thank you to Artlist.io for providing the massive music and sound effect library that I have to work with. And most of all, thank you to the bronies who write the amazing stories that inspire me to make these. Fluttershy and Izzy are best ponies. I now have a Discord server where you can join in and chat with other fanfiction fans. If you enjoy what I do, you can donate to me on Ko-Fi, links in the description.